So the first thing we're going to start with is rhythm. And I'm just letting you know. So again, culturally representative. I've tried to make sure that they're seeing, this was a street scene from Zimbabwe. And then I've got the old rhythm tool here on the screen, but let you know that we'll update that when we have the new rhythm ready to go. So this is an example of a rhythm motif. And what I would be doing with my students at this time is be teaching or reviewing the vocabulary. So we talk about rhythm as patterns of sound and silence, and then I would show them some examples. And I especially love this one. This is from the Congo, and I'm going to go to 120. Just a second. If you guys know about ViewPure, ViewPure is a wonderful website where you can go in and make sure that something's not going to show up on a video that you don't want to do. I'll go back eventually and make these ViewPure. I just don't have it done yet. Okay, so. I found this one on YouTube. YouTube is my best friend. I can't do this, but this guy did. BC did it for me. I don't know about you, but I think that's amazing. And that's an opportunity for me to talk to my students about if their music teacher used any kind of rhythm syllables with them, if they one to tune or one-anda or Mississippi River or whatever they did to learn. And I said this in India, that's how they teach rhythmic symbols, is they have a syllable for each kind of rhythm pattern. And then I found this really funny thing.
Guy clapping extraordinary rhythm with precision. I don't even know if it's precise anymore because it's beyond my skills of rhythm and percussive talent. And so yeah, we're gonna watch it and see what happens and maybe even try it. Why is he going to keep that?
Don't be racist. This is culture.
He said, what's he saying? And the other kid says, that's culture. So they're even talking about the fact that the rhythm syllables have culture in them. But what I'd be doing while my students are taking the notes that rhythm is patterns of sound and silence, I'd be playing those examples. So the kids who need more time to write were having the time to write out the vocabulary, but then the other kids had something to watch. When everybody was done, I made sure that they know about the Miss Janet Jackson. And I want to make sure that Kim knows that down in the script part, I have found videos. If our intention is for you to be able to use this slideshow and put your own examples in there. So if you have a different definition of rhythm, we did the understanding by design, the kid-friendly versions of the definitions, and you can make your own. And if you think Janet's a little too much for kindergartners, then you can go back. There's a million. Once I get started, I get down that rabbit hole of YouTube. There's a million examples that you could put in for an elementary. And I've given you some suggestions that you could also use. Rhythm. So we're going to talk about steady beat or the pulse of the music. And I put here, one of my students in Pew 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 had a really very steady rhythmic pattern. And so I put that visual in there. But what I'm wanting the students to do here is feel the pulse. So I found a Lizzo song. And of course, I've got to be careful with Lizzo because Lizzo says the F word in the first few seconds of the song. But my junior high students are going to go crazy that number one, I know who Lizzo is, and number two, that I found a sample of a piece of music from Lizzo. I just got to be able to, I've noted to myself that I'm going to play it at 38. I'm giving them examples of steady beat. So they're writing down that vocabulary word, but they're also experiencing it because I'm going to expect them to use steady beat when we write our rhythms. And then we talk about tempo. And I have found, I don't know if you guys know about trap music, but if you want secondary kids to love your examples, you're going to use trap music. It is possible that even your elementary students will know what trap is. But all my examples for speed of the beat are trap examples. So I have my visual here. So we're always pairing the written word with the visual. Oh, actually, I'm very sorry. I meant to write slow, medium, and fast on this for our ELL learners. But we have an example here. So I'm having them tap on their hand and then identifying that this is how the keys are. Okay, and then okay, so of course there's many children's songs that could be an example for that, and I put some down in the speaking parts or the speaker's notes, so you know. The students who created it put a metronome in the original version, and they've updated that metronome. And I always want my students to know that there's a way that you can stay together. And so metronome is a way to do that. I bring out my Seth Thomas metronome that I've had since I was 5. But I also found that Google has a metronome, and I showed them that they always have access to a metronome using the Google one. And then they can increase how fast or slow it's going. And of course, that I always want to see how fast you can make it. Okay, so that's a cool feature. So we have metronome working available for you in Hyperscore. Okay, and then I'm going to talk to you real quick about meter. And I don't know, Kim, if this is going to be important for your students, but definitely the music teachers are going to want to review, or it's possible they've already taught this and they might make it more advanced, like 7 or 12/4. I'm seeing some pieces now that have multi time signatures within them. So it's just how I reviewed with the students that meters, how beats are grouped. I made them count everything, and then we reinforced the time signature, although I never showed them the time signature again, except for in the guitar unit. But that shows groups that's how we show groups of 2 in music. And notice there's no line between them because this is not a math symbol, it's a music symbol. So there's no line between them. So that's a way to reinforce groups of 2. And of course, I always want them to understand that it's called duple meter, and I use the example of a duplex. A duplex has 2 front doors. So whenever you think duple, you want to think groups of 2. And I'm going to tell you that I'm going to do something that is very brave of me, is I'm going to sing for you because I play 9 instruments, but I do not consider myself a singer. But I still sing in front of the kids because I want them to know, just like Lizzo, that you can do whatever you want to do. And it doesn't mean that I'm going to go on national television and try out for America's Got Talent. I am not. But I want them to know what groups of 2 are. So I teach them how to conduct 2. And then I sing, oh, John the Rabbit, oh, yes. Oh, John the Rabbit, oh, yes. Got a mighty bad habit, oh, yes. So a little kid song, John the Rabbit, which moves in groups of 2. And it turns out that really the only time we ever see groups of 2 is in little kids songs. So then I talk about the one that they know more, which is groups of 4. Pretty much everything on the radio is going to be in groups of 4. And of course, I had that student who found Nothing Else Matters by Metallica. That's in groups of 6, of course. But groups of 4 is common time. I want to help them to understand that it is still duple. because it does have two, but now it's two groups of two. And I found these two little cool peace signs so that I can reinforce it's still duple meter. It's two, but it's two groups of two for four. And so the time signature we use here is 4. And I love to have them conduct, and then I sing jingle bells, jingle all the way. And then they experience also what it's like to have your bicep get tired by the time you're doing that whole groups of 4 songs. And most of them really enjoy learning how to conduct. And we talk about staying inside your bubble so you're not conducting into your neighbor's space. And then of course we have groups of 3, and I talk about that as the triplets. And then that's the first time I bring my guitar out and I play my home's in Montana, I wear a bandana, because pretty much the only songs I can find that kids would know in groups of 3 are cowboy songs. And most of them say, I've never heard that in my life. And the other thing is in Harry Potter at the Christmas party, they have to waltz. And so I show a little clip of the Christmas party, but we think of these as the triples. And I say, just remember when you see the word triple, it's 3, just like the word triplets tells you 3 babies. And then you could go on and do any meter you want to. I am doing 1 compound meter here because I like to introduce the jazz piece Take 5 by Dave Brubeck. And I love for them to have to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And so we talk about compound meter here, and that's 3 plus a 2 equals 5. And so we'd show that with a 4 on the bottom and a 5 on the top. You could do anything with meter here. I'm just giving you some examples if you want to go into advanced meter or polyrhythmic pieces. Okay, so eventually the beta model, this is where I would teach you to do rhythm. And so I would teach you how to drop the notes. I'd teach you how to cut and edit and paste. I'm going to go ahead and move on. I'll wait and see if anybody have any questions about the rhythm model itself. Okay, and marches can be in 2/4 and also in 4/4. Is the floss in 3? Oh, the floss. Oh, like the floss dance. Ooh, I think it's 1, 2. Now I'm flossing 2, 3. Oh, hey, the floss is in 3. You just thought you came up with a really good physical way to involve your students. I have them get up and try to dance to 5/4, and they realize how awkward. I said they're never going to be playing Take 5 at a school dance, but you could get up and floss, and you could get up and try. Of course, at one point we were doing the Dougie. Today, I don't know. What would they be doing today? What's the new move? Something from TikTok. There's something new every single day from TikTok. So that's a great way to reinforce.
And still young kids are on the Fortnite dances, which drives me bonkers.
Oh, Fortnite dances. Yeah, I heard about, is there one called the orange juice? One, I had a kid who said, I want to show you orange juice. And he got up in front of the whole class and did it. And I said, how do you know that? And he said, Fortnite. I'm like, okay, all right. And that's moving in groups of 4, by the way. Use those teachable moments, right, you guys? Okay, so does anybody have any questions about possibilities with rhythm? Of course, the idea is that you can take that template and make it your own. Cut and paste. Move things off there, put your own visuals in. If you don't think there's enough of something, put more of that in. Too much of something, take that out. So as the pilot teacher, you have the opportunity to do whatever you want with that slide module. And I'm happy to help you look for examples. You just let me know. And that's something that as part of my director of education duties is I could be looking for examples for you. I'm going to talk about the melody tool now.